What's going on, YouTube? It's Q back here again with another video for you. In today's video, I'm here with the 2025 Chevrolet Trax, and this is the Activ version. This Trax is painted in cacti green, and this is Chevy's subcompact SUV, another crowded market. But this Activ package is going to give you the black wheels. This is going to be one of their top level trims. They do have an RS package in which you can get a 2RS, but that looks more sporty. This version, you get this little bronze colored bumper down there. That's how you can tell the Activ, or just looking at the badge on the back. But Chevy has done a lot of retuning to this. A whole lot has changed since the previous generation, and this is the 2025 model, so this is the newest model year. Added a couple more colors, but we're going to get into what's new in just a moment. I want to give a huge shout out to Chevy for loaning me the Trax for the week. So what has it been like to drive in this past week? We're about to get into that in just a moment here. And before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, browse the channel. Let's jump into it. Let's start off by talking pricing, because this is one of the greatest values on the market that you can get of all vehicles. So you can get a base model starting around $21,000. But this is a fully loaded model right here. Like I said, this is the Activ package, so it's going to give you a more upscale look to it, and we'll get into that in just a moment here. But the base price for the Activ is going to be $24,300. So this one, we got a sunroof package, and we also have a driver safeties package, which is going to add rear cross traffic alert, the blind or lane change alert. Got the rear park aid sensors. There's no park aid sensors on the front, which I wish we did have. The total MSRP after destination is going to be $27,085. And with the average transaction of new vehicles today being close to $50,000, this is going to be a huge value at about half that price of the average transaction. Work with me here now. Let's take a look up under the hood and see what we got power in this beast, or not so beast. Ooh, this hood is heavy. What we have power in the Trax is a 1.2 liter inline 3, and that's going to be turbocharged. You're going to have 137 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque. That's not going to sound like a lot, and I thought it would be slow, but it's got a little bit of punch to it with that torque. Got a 6-speed auto, and it's going to be powering the front wheels, and the vehicle weighs around 3,100 pounds, so it is a featherweight. The EPA is going to rate this at 28 in the city, 32 on the highway. I've been averaging 30 miles per gallon, so we right on par. That's a lot of cars don't do that. They'd be way off, but this, we're going to be right smack dab in the middle. So let's start in the back, work our way up to the front. This one, we don't have a trunk release button on the interior or on the key fob. We got to open it up ourselves. Looking down low, this is a closer look at that bronzish copper metallic bar. Cool looking. So we're going to have to open the trunk, put our hand up under here. Hydraulic pump or hydraulic trunk. We got ample space back here. Got a couple backpacks, and for this to be subcompact, this is very roomy. Couple backpacks. We do have an actual spare tire up underneath. And like I said, this is a great value because this car has grown in size since the previous generation and has also gotten cheaper. That never happens. That never, ever happens. So kudos to Chevy for the engineering, the marketing to keep this price low, because cars are very expensive these days. And ain't nobody got time to be spending 50 grand on the entry-level family car. So if you're looking for a smart buy, this right here is going to have to be it. Let's hop into the back seat. Now, the back seat surprised me. I can get in here, and I don't even have to duck my head. It's fit right in here. Headroom in the back seat for someone who's 5'11". I got 3 to 4 inches above my head. That's kind of unheard of. Looking in front of me, we got about 3 to 4 inches of knee room behind where I normally sit. That's fantastic. We don't have any rear vents back here, but we do have a USB-C and a USB-A port. Lighting, what we looking like, incandescent bulbs. Sunroof only for the front. And this might be the first time I haven't seen the cup holder in this middle seat. Do have cup holders in the door. Let's mosey our way on up to the front. Take another look at this rear seat. Ample space back here. So you got family. I got the kid with the booster seat. Everybody's happy. Coming on up to the front seat. So you're going to be greeted by these seats. Going to have Activ stitched in the seats. And then we do have this Artemis colored green stripe, and that'll let you know that's part of this Activ package. Two-tone gray seats, got the black middle inserts. So now this is where we're going to see a lot of styling come from, because I'm shocked to see any kind of styling. Normally automotive makers don't put a whole lot of effort into designing and styling the cheaper models, but this one I'm kind of ashamed to call it a cheaper model because of what you get. The design in here looks like Thanos with the dissolving when he snapped his fingers. We got that kind of design going on here. And then also up in the vents we have that bronzish color that I was telling you on the bumper, and that same design from Thanos inspired going across the dash. Lovely design interior for this price point, definitely for this price point. As far as storage, got a nice big pocket on the side door. You can put a drink, miscellaneous items over there. We do have the wireless charger at the front of the console, another storage unit right behind the gear selector, and then the armrest have this deep pocket right there. This armrest a little on the hard side. It does give a little give, but it is more firm. The first day I got into it, I was uncomfortable, especially with my elbow laying back here, because that's hard plastic. So you're going to want to be able to make sure you get your elbow in the right spots on there. But I got used to it. Now we're all good. This vehicle is very ergonomically friendly. So what I mean by that, we see these cup holders here. We have this horizontal slit in here in which we can put our phone. It is a great place to put the phone if it's not on the wireless charger. Speaking of the wireless charger down there, we also have a DC outlet, USB-A and USB-C in case you haven't uploaded your cords yet. Come on, people, update those cords to USB-C now. So one thing I noticed about here, we don't have any lights over our sun visors. A couple other things I noticed. First of all, this infotainment screen looks great, performs okay as well. And this cluster over here is simple as well. Great digital readout, fully digital. So one thing I did notice once we go to, because I like to see what I'm doing on my trip meter. I thought I was lying about those 30 miles per gallon. I'm at 30.5, and you can get that information to display on the cluster. So we press this button here, and we press show on cluster. And guess what that'll do? It'll show it on the cluster a couple seconds later. So I don't like that because it's just going to sit there. I just like having a fully functional dash up there. So I'm just going to remove that from the cluster. But there's other things you can see up there as far as your trip goes. You can see that fuel economy, you can have that show on the cluster as well. But something I noticed when I go from my Apple CarPlay back to the native screen like I just did, when I go back, it's going to take me to a different menu, which I don't like because I was in my audio menu, and now it's taking me to my phone contacts. I don't like that. I like to return back to where I was. So I was listening to Jagged Edge. That's where I want to be. So I gotta mark it down on that just because I'm so well versed with infotainment systems. You're also going to get big MPGs on this small tank of gas. So I'm 184 miles. That's only a half tank. So you can get close to 400 miles if you go from full to empty on here, which is phenomenal. And the native home screen is a little slow. Takes a little while to get back to where you want to go with the button presses. I'm pressing CarPlay and it's not going there. So things like that happens. Let me go to home screen. Can I go to CarPlay now? All right, thank you. Now it's going to go back to that screen. So y'all saw it earlier where it just happened. But the cluster is not a whole lot to configure in here, and it's not a whole lot of customization you can do for the driver. You're going to have to go to the settings screen. And then we got the vehicle settings. You can change the door locks, what's going to unlock when you press the key button. But it's very basic when it comes to that. The collision system, like the side, the blind spot monitoring, things of that nature, how much you want the safety systems to intervene. The HVAC controls, they're tactile, solid switches to them. Feels great, easy to read. It's just clear. That's how an HVAC system should be. And this rear view camera, it is so vibrant. The way they have the saturation on here, the colors on here are vivid. It doesn't look that good in real life, but driving this, you'll think like, man, I'm in a paradise. So they did a good job with the color on here because it is so vibrant. Let's spin a few blocks in the 2025 Chevy Trax. Traditional gear selector. We also got our auto stop start on and off, and the lane keep assist. You can toggle that on and off should you please to do so. One of the things I noticed about this Trax, and this is weird for me to say, but this is a not so satisfying turn signal. If you want to do a 3-blink indicator, the amount of pressure that you got to apply to it is just it's a lot of force, and this, you can go a little bit too far, because if you want to flash it, sometimes I'm like, dang, I went the whole way, because you got to put a little bit of force into it. Observation. Let's go ahead and check out the turning radius. Whip that thing, lock it. Whoa, how did we not make that? So turning radius isn't the best. I thought we were about to pass that, to be honest. We probably could have, but I'm not about to risk scraping the bumper or the tire. And now let's go to our moon simulation part of the video. How does it soak up the bumps? It does a fantastic job of dampening those bumps, because that is a huge mess back there. And if you got the 19s, if you got the 2RS, you might want to be a little careful. The 18s on here, you got a lot of sidewalls, so you should be better protected against massive potholes. But this car, the dampening is really good. This car is just dynamically very good for the average consumer. The people buying one of these, they will love to drive it. And I know for those of us who are more on the enthusiast side, like, yeah, the horsepower is on the low side, but it gets up and goes. 60 miles an hour is estimated about 8.5 seconds. But do you really need to drive a car like this that fast? But it gets up when you want to. A very, very responsive powertrain. Anytime you get on it, it's going to respond quickly. I think you got a pedal commander on here, and the 6-speed auto is adequate as well. Steering is on the lighter side. You get a little bit of feel to it, but dynamically, this car is going to be an unexpected surprise to me. I'm like, wow, this car is actually pretty good to drive. I've been driving it every single day. As my stuff in the back seat rumbles around. So we're going to go through these little curves up here to see how the body roll is. Stays decently planted. These seats aren't the greatest for bolstering, but they are comfortable. They aren't the most comfortable seats, but for the longer hauls, you'll be all right. Stretch your back out. You got ample room down here in this footwell. It's a whole lot of room. They did a good job packaging this interior, because the interior ergonomics, just the space in here is fantastic. Awesome for this price point. This thing keeps wanting to downshift. It wants to keep me in that power band. This might be for the enthusiasts, y'all. Let's go back the other way. Get some more thoughts on it. How quick can we pick up? Can we chirp tires? Nope. Engine gets a little bit loud too. You can hear it. For a displacement that little, you wouldn't think you'll be able to hear anything. Pleasantly surprised at how this handles. Keeps downshifting in the turns, so it wants to be in that power band. And that's just the stock tuning. This doesn't have any sport modes, just one drive, select all. Now we're about to test out the audio portion. Audio on here, it's a little bit better than good to great. The only downfall I have about it is at louder, once it gets loud in here, if you can ride with the windows down, sunroof open, it's not going to be able to compensate for the amount of interior noise. So you're going to it's just not going to be loud enough to my liking. I like to be able to hear the full fidelity with the vehicle, with the windows down, music all the way up, and this just doesn't do that. So let's see how it is from a dig where we just take off. Not about to be winning any kind of drag races. You knew that. You knew that. You saw once I said 1.2 liter displacement what we were working with. Don't act surprised. This is true and true a daily commuter car. Satisfying in these little twisties though. Definitely shocked about that. Let's see what it's like going up to speed from 60 miles an hour. Here we go. It'll get you there. You might want to be able to be a little bit more mindful at timing how you need to shoot through gaps. But if you're being just a smooth driver, you don't got to worry about that. You'll be all right. Visibility on here is very good. It's a little bit slim looking out the rear view, so it's smaller window because they have the slant back of the roof back there, but looking over your shoulders you'll be able to see whatever you need to see. Just cruising that speed on the highway, decently quiet, don't hear a whole lot of road noise. Exiting the highway, let's see how we handle this quarter of a 4-leaf clover. Very confidence inspiring. Starting to roll a little bit more the faster I go. Coming on back around. Brakes are actually pretty good too. It's the thing about lightweight cars. You engineer a lightweight car, things like brakes, everything just gets better. Acceleration, braking, going, handling feel improves everything. Up to speed. It gets up there, and just putting around town, the torque definitely puts you back just a little bit at times, depending on where you are in the rev range. Like, it's ample, it's adequate enough for daily driving. Don't let the numbers fool you. 130 and 160 pound-feet of torque, but this is a very solid. It's got to get one of my highest recommendations for this price point. So in the class with this vehicle, you're going to run up against competitors like the Mazda CX-30, like a Honda HR-V. This is on the larger side. Like, the power for the definitely the Mazda is going to be a lot more powerful, but you get the price on this one is just fully loaded. You can't match that. Now it is going to miss out on some key features like memory seating and a button to open the lift gate and lights over the sun visor, but for a total package, just driving wise, the efficiency, the ergonomics and space in here, this is unmatched, especially for this price range. Then you get pretty good driving dynamics as well. So if you're somebody who has value in mind, this is going to be an amazing value. Now, looking at the lease, that might vary due to your location. I looked at leasing one of these. Leasing ain't all that. There's not a whole lot of rebates on these, but this is one of the type of cars that it might be better to just finance it, especially if they have financing deals going on. But I was looking around like maybe for low to mid 400 a month to lease, but that's going to be regional. You can get better deals in different locations depending on when you shop for these. This was in a different month as well, so who knows? Go shop it out. Look for one of these. It's a phenomenal buy, especially given the price. So drop a comment, let me know what you all think. If you got any questions, let me know. That's all I got to say about that. You all drive safe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.